Slowly I pushed myself up from the reef, slung the halberd over my shoulder, and started walking toward the python one step at a time. The seawater parted before my feet. The snarling demon soldiers never even saw me. Clearly before the aura, I unconsciously literally blasted them hundreds of miles away, crashing unconscious into the reefs. The black abyss python was just about to swallow. I was being whole when I felt something wrong. It looked down and saw me no armor, just a tattered vest. A common shrimp soldier standing there right in front of us. What the hell are you supposed to be? A tiny gate guard daring to block my path. The python glared at me with those red lantern eyes, its root turning the water into a fury of bubbles. I scratched my head and pointed at our being in its clutches. Hey, you little Prince God, then fix the reef you broke. Bring me 10 baskets of kelp as compensation, and you can be on your way. The python stared at me as if I'd just told the funniest joke in the history of the universe. Its whole body quaked with laughter. You a puny shrimp. I could blow you all the way to the south. Heavenly gate in one breath. It tossed our being aside, then swung its tail at me with world-shattering force. A blow that could have pulverized half the undersea mountains in the North Sea, let alone a single lowly shrimp soldier. Our being squeezed his eyes shut. Minister Turtle and the remaining dragon generals turned away, unable to watch me get turned into shrimp paste. I slightly raised my rusted bronze halberd and almost casually blocked, clawing the thunderclap that shook over seas. Louder than Panda's first roar when he split heaven and earth, the python's tail thicker than the mountain range slammed into my halberd like it had hit the hardest divine. Meddling creation, scales shattered and flew in all directions. Blood erupted like a waterfall. An agonized shriek tore through the deep. The python's 1,000-mile body hurtled backward, out of control, plowing through dozens of undersea volcanoes before slamming into the distant seabed with a cataclysmic THUD. It didn't get up 100,000 demon soldiers went dead silent, their eyes both staring at me as if I were a ghost. I walked over to the python halberd still resting on my shoulder and gave its head a friendly. Had I told you not to start anything, but you just had to push it on. Look your tails. Busted does it hurt? The black abyss python stared at me, eyes brimming with pure undiluted terror. It coughed blood, barely able to form words. You're hiding all the hells are you? I ignored it. Reached out, helped the still layers elbowing to his feet, straightened his bent spear, and placed it back in his hands. Then quietly I channeled my power. In that split second before anyone could notice, he transferred every last ounce of force from that halberd straight directly onto me. I shot the clam spear behind me, snatched the lunchbox from my hands, and tossed it to a troll. Keep an eye on your future wife and my pole balls. Don't let that little brat's blind 5 wheels turn them into toasted vulva. A troll caught the lunchbox, his 2 claws shaking like sieves. His already pretzel twisted pincers nearly crushed the thing to splinters. Shisan, have you lost your goddamn mind? That's Nezha, the disciple of Tai Shen. The kid's a professional serial. The Eastern Sea still has repair crews working on the roof after his last visit. And you a gay guard want too much after him? You're trying to get yourself deep fried into shrimp chips. Shrimp chips my ass off my shells harder than black iron. If he hits me with that universal red, I'll be more worried about his hand hurt. I rolled my ass, hitched out my tattered cloth vest, placed my rusted bronze halberd onto my shoulder, and started walking east. The dragon generals and the newly surrendered demon soldiers all stared at me like I was a complete idiot, their expressions screaming as this little shrimp lost his death wish. Even the dragons won't touch this guy, and the giga thinks he can step up. I couldn't be bothered with them. Sure, I'd spent 300 years coasting, but if I let that rampaging little terror charger and torch the kelp field I'd been cultivating outside my dorm for 3 centuries, where the hell was I supposed to slack off after that? I hadn't walked more than a few steps before I saw him with his 2 buns on his head, wearing a red doodle, riding a pair of wildfire wheels straight at us. Universal red rays. In his other hand dangled a bloody strip of dragon sinew. And unless some unfortunate distant cousin of the Eastern Sea Dragons had really bad luck, I knew exactly who it was. Nezha spotted me and his wildfire wheels screeched to a halt. His little brow furrowed, and he pointed a tiny finger at me. Hey, you're a bold little shrimp, aren't you? Everyone else runs when they see me, and you're walking toward me. Are you trying to play hero for your dragon king? I planted my halberd in the seabed, fixed a half bag of freshly roasted melon seeds from my pocket, and held it out to him. Whoa, whoa, hold on, hero. Nah, I'm just the gatekeeper. You want to wreck the sea? Go right ahead. Wreck away. But that kelp filled up ahead. That's mine. The wine 5 wheels runway the whole school tonight. And I lose my snack supply for the next half year. Tell you what, I'll point you a better direction. Third floor of the Dragon Palace treasury is a full stash of dragon pearls the Eastern Sea Pit has tribute. Way more fun than ripping out dragons in them. Take whatever you want. Just don't touch my turf. Nezha froze. The hand holding the universal ring went stiff. It resurfaces now and had never, not once, run into a sea creature who refused to play by the script. He'd been all geared up for a fight, but the melon seeds I handed him actually smelled pretty damn good. On instinct, he grabbed a handful and started cracking them between his teeth. Not bad. You'll way more fun than all those dragons who just scream and cry. Fine, I won't touch your cold feet. I'm hitting the treasury with those dragon pearls. With that, his wine 5 wheels blazed and he shot off toward the dragon palace. As he zipped past me, he clapped me on the shoulder. Come visit me in Trenton past some time. I'll treat you to some grilled squid. Dead silence fell over the entire battlefield. The dragon general's weapons clattered to the ground in a chorus of cries. A tool clutched the lunchbox, his mouth gaping wide enough to swallow 10 swallows. The clam spirit stared at me with those big eyes of hers. Pure adoration radiating from a gaze you actually managed to check down Nezha. Albion stood frozen in place, still gripping my bent divine spear. His entire suit of armor soaked through with the cold sweat he'd broken into it. He'd been fully prepared to have his thing ripped out. And I just thought the god of death away with too casual words. Minister Turtle came crawling over, trembling with age, and clamped his two-tooth-back mouth onto the hem of my vest, hair streaming down his ancient face. Xia Shisan, you're truly the lucky star of Anansu. What did you say to him? How did he just leave? I spat out a melon sea cherub, dusted off my hands. Nothing much, just pointed into a pipe that doesn't touch my cold feet. He's just a kid. Where's all the evil intent supposed to come from? He just wants some fun. I kept my tone nice, but inside, my heart lurched. When Nezha had brushed past me, I felt a familiar scent clinging to his universal ring-knot lotus fragrance. But it bled my asthma, reeking of rotting seaweed. The exact same stench that had clung to the back of his python all those years ago. That wasn't right. Nezha was the reincarnation of the spirit pearl. How the hell could he be carrying traces of something so corrupted? I was still turning that over in my mind when I spotted movement in the distant undercurrents. Several figures draped head to toe in wax slid silently through the dim, their faces completely obscured. One of them clutched the chest cap with dark photos. They moved with the furtive, practiced stealth of thieves, so quietly that not even the surrounding demon soldiers noticed them. I narrowed my eyes. The overwafting of those people was an exact match for the bite my asthma on Nezha's universal ring.